Gear Geeks! Hope all is well. If you see yellow in front of you, those are three boxes of AliExpress. That is the Asian Amazon, but they have everything and for very cheap. If you see these boxes anywhere in this format, they're guitars. They're probably the Gibsons that you hear us so much about. And I got 3 of them here, and I'm going to review them. Let's do an unboxing. Okay, the first one is a 335. Look, it even says Gibson on the top. When you look at it, it looks pretty good. Binding, F-holes. You don't see paper in the F-holes. Usually if it's a Gibson or an Epiphone, there's paperwork in the F-holes where you could see information about the guitar. This guitar is supposed to have like a wood grain underneath. Not really a lot, just a little bit. That's how the Gibsons do these things, or Epiphone. When you look at this one, it's in really good looking condition. When you look at it, there looks to be nothing wrong with this thing. People will buy brand new Gibsons for thousands of dollars, and there'll be paint overspray or lacquer on the nut. So with this one, this is supposed to be a Gibson copy. So Epiphone makes guitars in China. And because of that, everybody in China has the correct dimensions to build one for Epiphone. All the companies that build these guitars in China. So for them to cheat and make a Gibson looking one is fairly easy in the build area. Where they have a hard process, where it comes difficult for these companies, if it's not a guitar they're actually building for the real company, or the electronics. So they can fake building a lot of things, but when it comes to the electronics or some of the exotic woods, that's where you'll find people on the interweb or net finding issues with these Gibsons. So I've taken you to the back of the guitar. It's got this made in a USA stamp with a 2000 serial number. Those machine heads are the 50 style looking machine heads. It doesn't have the fluted neck here. Standard looking 335. I don't know if you could see some of the wood looking in there, but the haze in the wood is not paint problems. It's the grainy look they're trying to achieve in a $3,500 one of these. This is not mine. In my whole entire life, I've never even thought about buying an imitation Gibson. It never crossed my mind. But if you see these boxes somewhere, you know somebody bought one of these. So on this particular one, when I opened it up, one of the plastic rings were broken. So that was $5. A lot of times the pick guards are crap, but this one's nice. This really no issues. Put good strings on it because it came with just horrible strings. I just polished the frets really quick for him. My friend's guitar, he bought 3 of them. He moved, and he asked me while he was doing the move to go through these guitars, which at first I was excited about. Then I realized the headache it was going to become. I was thinking, I'll just throw it up as content. So it played right out of off the bat really well. I didn't have to adjust the neck. I didn't have to do anything. With this particular one, it's supposed to be a replica of a 1959 335-ish thing. And that means the pickups are really low output. A lot of these Chinese knockoff companies don't have good electronics and make noise. This works good. These have no noise. The toggle works great. Input jack's great. No grounding problems. The pickups are weak, But it's okay because this is a weak guitar. Sometimes when you have weak pickups, it just will sound horrible. You will get nothing out of it. I played this earlier. You heard me already play it in the beginning. And I'm using this Kemper and I'm doing the Princeton clean sound. Um, you would think, oh, the Kemper, you're cheating. It's the quality is unsurpassed. Well, I'll tell you, with cheap guitars, you could see the horrible quality that you would get from the guitar if it's not good. So when I play any something that's really not up to par, the Kemper calls it out. Cheap amps won't call out cheap guitars very well. I mean, you'll never get good killer tone, but you won't be called out for it sounding horrible. So we already played it. I like it. Now, what's the other downfall? Well, I'll tell you what. If you ever bought an Epiphone and you try to do the change out for some of the electronics, you will find that in a lot of them, the holes are smaller than what we buy here in the United States. I'm in the United States. So if I was to upgrade this to the US specs, you have to drill holes, make those potholes bigger. Everything works good on this, but if you were to replace anything, you have to take it all out. So if you say, oh, I'm going to replace a pickup, well, that means there's only one wire that goes to the F-hole. The only way you can get this stuff out is through the F-hole. You have to undo all this stuff and then pull it through here just to wire a new pickup to the pots and to the switch. So one pickup, it will be one pot, one switch, and a ground. So you're better off pulling the pickup here out of the hole, cutting the pickup right there, and adding your new pickup to this existing cabling, which could be subpar in some aspects, but this particular guitar works good. But again, like I'm kind of getting at is if you want to change one thing, everything has to go. Okay, so two problems really with this guitar. One is the output jack for this cable is a small little cable. It's like the cheapest cable I could buy. It was like $25 for 20 feet. And so that's relatively cheap. A good cable doesn't fit in the hole. Yeah. So if you went to go buy electronics, we're like $100 for the whole package here. But then you have to pull it all out, drill holes, put it back in through that hole. And if you watch the videos on that, it's really rough. Really rough. So what's the second problem with buying one of these things? Well, the second problem is their liabilities. They're fraud guitars that somebody didn't pay the correct tax on to import them into this country. If you were to pass away or somebody was to steal this guitar and try to sell it, or your family, it's a fraud if they didn't know it was not the right, if it passed off as a real guitar. So for those reasons, I never even thought about ever purchasing one. And when Ned down the street goes, hey, I'm moving, but you want to check these out? So that's one. There's two more. This particular guitar, if it's bought brand new, is $3,500. He bought it for $300 with tax and shipping, $300. But if he was to, and then we put approximately $200 with the case and all the other stuff, about a little $180. So he's under $500. If he was to change out the pickups and all the other stuff, make it like better than what you can get for Gibson, it would be about $1,200. So you're well under the $3,500 for a Gibson. And then you would have at least the pickups you like more than if you didn't like the Gibsons. You get like, really good stuff. Not that Gibson's isn't good. I'm just saying that you pick and choose what you want. So you're under, but you can't sell it to anybody. You can't do anything with it. So do you save a little bit more for something you really can't afford and just buy that instead? It's really hard to say. If you've seen any of the Epiphones lately, they got one for $1,300, and it has the Gibson pickups in it, and it looks really nice. And you'd probably be able to sell it for close to that price. But it does say Epiphone on it. It doesn't say Gibson. And some people pay just for that. It's a hard choice. So this is kind of the reason I never even thought about buying one. So let me play this thing a little bit more and wrap it up here because there will be more of these guitars to check out. Gear Geeks. That's enough of me noodling around. Hope all is well. Take care and AliExpress.